Hello, everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to start with the basic concept of biomolecules. And we are going to start with the introduction to biomolecules, which are the essential building blocks of life. And then we are going to take a quick look at the different biomolecules, carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. And we are going to build a foundation for the upcoming lectures where we will be discussing about these biomolecules in detail. And also, we will be discussing about the exam questions. So, what are biomolecules? Biomolecules are basically the biological molecules. Biological means the living bodies. So, all the molecules that are present in the living bodies are known as the biomolecules. And primarily, there are four different types of biomolecules which we have to discuss. First is carbohydrates, then we have lipids, we have nucleic acids, and we have proteins. Now, talking about the basic concept in brief about each of these biomolecules, we will look onto this diagram on the screen. So, first, let's see that what are carbohydrates. So, carbohydrates are basically the hydrates of carbon. And there are several different examples of carbohydrates, as you might have already heard about glucose, fructose, sucrose. So, whatever the food that we are eating, it's giving us carbohydrates in major amounts, which is giving us energy at the end of the day. So, the monomeric units of the carbohydrate molecules are joined together by monosaccharides. So, monosaccharides, they join together and form long chains of carbohydrates. And these monosaccharides are joined together by glycosidic bond. The examples of carbohydrates include starch, cellulose. There are several others like sucrose. We have fructose. We have maltose. So there are so many other examples. And the basic elements that are present in all the carbohydrates are carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And what are the functions of carbohydrates? These are the energy source. As you know that we eat food for energy and primarily we get it from carbohydrates. These are also the structural components of the cells and they are also the reserved form of the food, such as glycogen. So carbohydrates are made up of monosaccharides. Different monosaccharides, they join together and form the long chains of carbohydrates. We will be discussing in detail in the coming lectures. The second type of biomolecules is the proteins. Proteins are very important for us. You might have heard about this a lot, that consume protein, it does this and so on, right? Primarily today we are talking about proteins because of the muscle building thing. But when you go deep inside the scientific aspects of it, you will know the basics of how it is working as a fuel for the cells. So, what are proteins? They are made up of the amino acids. So, different amino acids, they are joining together to form long chains of proteins. And there are about 20 different amino acids, which are the standard ones, which are joining in different fashion to form different kinds of proteins, which we will be looking as well in the coming lectures. Now, what are the different examples of proteins? We have insulin, we have collagen, we have several other proteins as well. And the basic elements, which are the constituents of proteins, include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. These are the basic ones which you will find mostly in all the proteins. And the basic functions of the proteins include that they can function as enzymes. All the enzymes that you can think of, other than a few, are all made up of proteins. They are all proteins. They are also the important constituents of the structural movement. They are also the defense hormones, like the immunoglobulins. So you might have heard about antibodies. So these are proteins as well. The third biomolecule is the nucleic acids. So nucleic acids, these are nothing but the DNA and the RNA that we talk about. So in case of nucleic acids, different nucleotides, they join together to form the phosphate. Basically, the nucleotides are joining together with the help of phosphodiester bond and they are forming DNA and RNA. And the basic constituents of the nucleic acids include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. And the main function is to store the genetic information. The fourth type of biomolecules is the lipid molecules. Now, what are lipid molecules? These are the fatty acids which are joined onto the glycerol backbone. So as you can see, this part of the component of the lipid is the glycerol, and the hydrogen is removed, and there are long chains of fatty acids attached onto these. And we are going to talk about what fatty acids are and how the glycerol is binding to the fatty acids to form long lipids. We will be seeing that in the coming lectures as well. But for now, just for the brief introduction, we are looking onto this diagram. So the fatty acids join to the glycerol backbone through the ester bond formation by the process of esterification, and that is what we call the lipids. And the different examples of lipids include fats, oils, and waxes. And the basic constituents of lipids include carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And the main functions are that they are acting as the energy source. They also provide insulation. As you know, the fats stored in our body, they are providing insulation. They're also giving the cushioning effect for the organs. And they are the membrane components, the lipid bilayer. And also, some of them are acting as the lipids, such as the hormones, sorry. So, all in all, what we discussed is that carbohydrates are made up of the long chains of monosaccharides. So, different monosaccharides they join together in different fashion to form different lengths of carbohydrates. When we talk about proteins, different amino acids are joining together. Then, if we talk about the nucleic acids, different nucleotides are joining together to form long chains of nucleic acids. And lipids are nothing but the fatty acids joined onto the glycerol backbone. So that was all about the classification of biomolecules and looking into the different biomolecules in brief. In the next lecture, we will start with carbohydrates.